Hello, welcome to Organic Chemistry Lectures by Sheetal Bhatkurki. Today we will be looking into aldehydes and ketones. Carbonyl compounds are classified into two types, class 1 and class 2. Class 1 compounds are those which have a replaceable group and can be replaced by a nucleophile, whereas class 2 compounds do not have a replaceable group by a nucleophile. Carbonyl compounds. Carbonyl compounds are divided into two classes. Carbonyl 1, which comprises a group that can be replaced by a nucleophile, and carbonyl 2, which comprises aldehydes and ketones and do not have a group that can be easily replaced by a nucleophile. The carbonyl carbon is the simplest aldehyde is formaldehyde, which is bonded to two or more two hydrogen atoms. The carbonyl carbon in all other aldehyde is bonded to a hydrogen and an alkyl group. The carbonyl of a ketone is bonded to two alkyl groups. Aldehydes and ketones do not have a group that can be replaced by another group because of hydride ion, that is H minus, and the carbon anion R minus are too basic to be replaced or displaced by a nucleophile under any normal conditions, unlike what we see in carboxylic acids. Carboxylic acid and its derivatives like ester, anhydrides, acyl halides, amides are all carbonyl class 1 compounds, and all of them do have a group that can be replaced a nucleophile. Many compounds found in nature have aldehyde or ketone functional groups. Aldehydes have a very pungent odors, whereas ketones tend to smell sweet. Vanilla and cinnamaldehyde are example of naturally occurring aldehydes. A whiff for a vanilla extract will allow you to appreciate the pungent odor of vanilla. The ketone, carbon and the camphor that are responsible for the characteristic sweet odor of peppermint leaves, caraway seeds and the camphor tree are all ketonic in nature. So do the formalin that we use, ibuprofen, aspirin, which are commonly used, are also containing either aldehydic or ketone functional group. Some of the common carbonyl compound of class 2 are formaldehyde, acement, aspirin, ibuprofen, acetone, cuca, urea and cantadine. All of them are containing either a keto functional group or an aldehyde functional group. The systematic name of an aldehyde is obtained by replacing a terminal E from a name of the parent hydrocarbon with a Al. For example, one carbon aldehyde is methanol. 2 carbon aldehyde is ethanol. The position of the carbonyl carbon does not have to be designated because it is always at the end of the parent hydrocarbon, therefore is always having one position. The common name of an aldehyde is the name as the common name of the corresponding acid, except that aldehyde is substituted by IC by an Al. When common names are used, the position of a substituent is designated by a lowercase Greek letter. The carbonyl carbon is not designated. The carbon adjacent to the carbonyl group is the alpha carbon. Some of the common names here are methanol, 1 carbon atom, ethanol, 2 carbon atom, 2-bromopropanol is 3 carbon atom, which is common names are formaldehyde, acetaldehyde and alpha bromopropanaldehyde respectively. We also have few of other systematic names like 3-chlorobutanol, which is nothing but a beta-chlorobutylaldehyde. The position of the chloro group is in beta position because the CH2 group in this aldehyde will be alpha and the CH will be the beta. Therefore, at the beta is the chloride group. Therefore, we call it as beta chlorobutylaldehyde. So do we have 3-methylbutanol whose common name is isovaleraldehyde and also hexane diol. When there are two aldehydes, then the term diol is used in front of al. So diol indicates that there are two aldehydic group. The systematic name of a ketone is obtained by removing the E from the parent hydrocarbon and adding ONE on. The chain is the number in the direction that gives the carbonyl carbon the smaller number. In case of a cyclic ketone, a number is not necessary because the carbonyl carbon is assumed to be at the 1 position. Few of the examples noted here are systematic nomenclature, propanone, which is nothing, common name is a acetone. Also derived name is dimethyl ketone. 3-hexane one, which is nothing but a ethyl propyl ketone. We have 6-methyl 2-heptanone, that is isohexyl methyl ketonone. The cyclic compounds, cyclohexanone, butadiene, because two keto compounds are there, therefore dione means two keto groups. 2,4-pentadiene, which is acetyl acetone, 4-hexene 2-one. The smallest ketone, propane, is usually referred to its common name as acetone. Acetone is common laboratory solvent that is frequently used in the laboratory. Few of the aromatic ketones indicated here are acetophenone, which is nothing but methylphenyl ketone, butyrophenone, phenyl propyl ketone, benzophenone, diphenyl ketone. If the ketone has a second functional group of higher naming priority, the ketone oxygen is designated as by the prefix oxo. Systematic nomenclature here, 4-oxopental, where there is a aldehyde group as well as a keto group. The higher priority is given to the aldehyde group because of its more reactivity status. Therefore, 4-oxo. Oxo indicate that there is a carbonyl group there at the 4th position from the aldehyde. Therefore, 4-oxopental. Through methyl 3-oxobutanoate. Ester is the functionality here, therefore ending it into OAT, and it is 4-membered carbon, therefore butanoate, and at the 3rd carbon is a oxo group with a methyl group as a side chain. Therefore, methyl 3-oxobutanoate. And then we have 2,3-oxopentyl cyclohexanone. So cyclohexanone is there along with, there are two keto group. So cyclohexanone is given preference. Therefore, parent moiety is cyclohexanone with a side chain containing 3-oxopentyl. Aldehydes and ketones are prepared by several synthetic methods. Few of them are only applicable to aldehydes and few of them are only applicable to the ketones while synthesizing. The first one, oxidation of an alcohol. Aldehydes are obtained by direct oxidation of a primary alcohol. The oxidants most commonly used are potassium dichromate in sulfuric acid or potassium permanganate in alkaline solution, where they easily get oxidized from a primary alcohol to an aldehyde. The aldehyde formed in the above process are readily oxidized to carboxylic acid if allowed to remain in the reaction mixture for some more time. Therefore, aldehyde formed must be removed from the reaction mixture before it gets opportunity to get oxidized to acid. The aldehyde, however, have lower boiling point than the corresponding alcohols. Thus, the reaction is carried out at a temperature slightly above the boiling temperature of the aldehyde. When the latter can be distilled as it is formed, the oxidation of ethyl alcohol, that is 78 degree, if the reaction mixture is maintained at 25 degree, the acetaldehyde boiling point 21 degree formed distills over, leaving the alcohol behind. Ketones may be prepared by oxidation of secondary alcohol with the potassium dichromate in sulfuric acid. Ketones, unlike aldehydes, are not easily oxidized further. Carbon-carbon bond must be broken and can be obtained in high yield by this method. Therefore, ketone stops there itself rather than forming a carboxylic acid. This method is more commonly used in the preparation of a ketone which contain oxidizable functions, say for example carbon-carbon double bond. The reaction cannot be already employed by a synthesis of an aldehyde because most of them undergo condensation in presence of aluminum tertiary butoxide. Oxidation of alkene with ozone. Some aldehydes and ketones can be obtained by oxidation of alkanes with the ozone. The ozonoid formed are not isolated since they are often explosive in dry state. Instead, the reaction mixture is treated under reducing condition, that is zinc with acetic acid or palladium with hydrogen to yield aldehydes and ketones. The ozonolysis reaction of an alkene described above has its great value as a diagnostic procedure, not as a preparative method. The next method of synthesis of aldehydes or ketones, hydrolysis of jump dihalides. Dihalides, two halides are present. Jump indicating that both the halogens are present on the same carbon. Aldehydes can be prepared by alkaline hydrolysis of jump dihalides, in which two halogen atoms are attached to the terminal carbon atom. The halogen atom are first replaced by the OH groups and unstable glycol or geminal diol is formed out of a molecule, which splits out a molecule of water to form an aldehyde. Thus, 1,1-dichloroethane will form unstable diol, jump diol, ethane diol, which will further eliminate out water molecule, forming acetaldehyde. Ketones are prepared by the hydrolysis of jump dihalides, in which two halogen are attached to one carbon atom other than the terminal carbon atom. Thus, 2-dibromopropane will form an unstable diol, which upon elimination of water molecule will give away acetone. Hydration of alkynes. Acetaldehyde is made by hydration of acetylene in presence of a sodium mercuric sulfate and sulfuric acid. Herein, we have learnt the both Markovnikov of addition as well as anti-Markovnikov of addition. Acetylene in presence of water and sulfuric acid with the mercuric sulfate forms a enol intermediate. Enol intermediate is nothing but a alkene with a alcohol or a hydroxy group. Enol, the terminology is very clear, which upon isomerization will give us acetaldehyde. If it is acetylene, then it will give a acetaldehyde. If it is a butane, then it will give a butanol. So on. Herein, we are using 9-BBN. 9-BBN is 9-boro-bicyclo-331-nonane. In presence of hydrogen peroxide, will give away us a aldehyde there, which follows anti-Markovnikov addition. The first one follows a Markovnikov addition, whereas the second one will follow a anti-Markovnikov addition. Reaction with acid halides. Aldehydes are synthesized by selective reductions using lithium tertiary butyl butoxy aluminum hydride and Rosamond reductions. Even ketones via Friedel-Crafts acylation can be formed. Ketones via reaction with organometallic reagents are also synthesized. Acyl halides, upon treating with lithium tertiary tributoxy aluminum hydride, will undergo reduction to form aldehydes. The second reaction, which is carried out in reduction of acyl halide in presence of hydrogen gas with the hydrogen gas in presence of palladium catalyst supported over a barium sulfate at 140 degrees centigrade is a Rosemont reaction. It is Rosemont reduction. The use of palladium on a barium sulfate surface is called as Rosemont catalyst. Normally, the aldehyde formed would be further reduced to primary alcohols. But the barium sulfate poisons the palladium catalyst, which is deactivated so as to not to permit the further reduction of aldehyde product. This is called Rosemont reduction. Formaldehyde cannot be made by this method because formal chloride, that is HCOCl, is very unstable at ordinary temperature. Accordingly, to a more recent method, acid chloride can be reduced to an aldehyde using a modified hydride reagent, that is lithium tertiary tributoxy aluminum hydride. This reaction is preferred to Rosemont reaction as it proceeds at a very lower temperature and the reducing agent is easy to prepare. It may be noted that lithium aluminum hydride alone would have been reduced the aldehyde product to primary alcohol. Ketones can also be prepared via Friedel-Crafts acylation. If we take a acyl chloride there in presence of aluminum chloride as a catalyst with a benzene as a solvent, then acylation will take place by substituting the chloride group. Therefore, we end up into a keto group. So, Friedel-Crafts acylation through Friedel-Crafts acylation we may end up into aryl ketones. Ketones can also be prepared by number of organometallic compounds. For example, use of lithium dialkyl cuprate when an acyl halide is there, halide can easily be substituted by a R group, resulting in formation of a keto group. Aldehydes can be obtained by number of carboxylic acid derivative functional groups such as ketones, amides, acids, etc. by using diisobutyl aluminum hydride. Traditionally, lithium aluminum hydride is the reducing agent which is frequently used, but whenever the lithium aluminum hydride fails to undergo reduction of carboxylic acid to aldehyde, therefore we do prefer to use the lithium aluminum dabile in such cases. Dabiles are carried out at a minus 78 degrees centigrades. Mechanism involves, the first step is the lone pair of electrons on the carbonyl carbon, that is ester carbonyl carbon or amide carbonyl carbon, will attack the aluminum hydride and thereby gains positive charge, and aluminum gains the negative charge. Now the hydrogen is abstracted by the carbon positive the carbonyl carbon now bear the positive charge. Therefore, the oxygen will pull out the pi bond from the carbonyl carbon, and thereby the positive charge is created on the carbonyl carbon. So now it becomes CO bond. No more it is a carbonyl bond, but it is a CO bond where it is attaining the positive charge. Therefore, aluminum hydride will give away its proton to this carbon and stabilizes the carbon positive charge. Thereby, carbon will attain a tetravalency there, whereas aluminum still has a negative charge. And the methoxy group of the ester will now drag the proton from the water or the acid H3O plus, the water form of the acid H3O plus, and thereby will form a OCH3 plus Now it is a good leaving group, therefore it is ready to leave away as a methanol, and when it is leaving away as a methanol, the oxygen present, the carbon oxygen bond, which is a single bond, will give away its lone pair of electrons and will form a double bond, and in that case oxygen will attain the positive charge. Now the water molecule will abstract the aluminum ion, and the oxygen will attain back one more its lone pair of electron, and thereby the aldehyde is going to be formed with further the aluminum butoxide hydrated form, which further gets hydrolyzed. So this is a general mechanism of the double which undergoes reduction from an ester to an aldehyde. Ketones are also obtained from carboxylic acids using alkyl lithium reagents. So alkyl lithium reagents are preferably helping in the reduction of carboxylic acid to corresponding keto compounds. Ketones are also obtained from thioacetals. Thioacetal formation from an aldehyde precursor or alkylation of a thioacetal intermediate using alkyl lithium reagents. Further, hydrolysis of alkylated thioacetal to give ketones products are indicated in this slide. Aldehydes can also be prepared from the nitriles. It is a useful procedure to prepare aldehyde. Alkene nitrile are first reduced in ether solution by hydrogen chloride gas and stannous chloride at room temperature. The formed aldimine hydrochloride produced is filtered off and subsequently hydrolyzed by warm water, resulting in the formation of aldehyde. However, this method is not applicable to synthesize the ketone. Reduction with the lithium aluminum hydride of alkyl nitrile can result in the formation of the aldehydes also. Physical properties of carbonyl compound. The first physical property is the boiling point that we are seeing here. A boiling point of an aldehyde and a ketone is slightly lower than the corresponding alcohols, and which might be due to the lack of hydrogen bonding. The boiling point of esters, acyl chlorides, ketones and aldehydes are lower than the boiling point of the alcohol with a comparable molecular weight. That's because the molecules of those carbonyl are unable to form hydrogen bonds with each other. The boiling points of carbonyl compounds are higher than the boiling point of ethers because of the polar carbonyl compound, which also might be attributed to a reason that aldehydes and ketones are polar compounds and possess intramolecular dipole-dipole interactions. Among isomeric aldehydes and ketones, points of ketones is slightly higher than that of the aldehydes due to the presence of two electron donating alkyl groups, making them slightly more polar. Physical state. Lower members of aldehydes and ketones up to C10 are colorless, volatile liquids except formaldehyde, which is a gas at ordinary temperature. Higher members of aldehydes and ketones are solid with fruity odor. Lower aldehydes have a pleasant odor, but ketones possess a pleasant odor. Relative reactivity of carbonyl compound. We have seen that the carbonyl group is polar because of the oxygen being more electronegative than the carbon and has a greater share of electrons of double bond. The partial positive charge on the carbonyl carbon causes carbonyl compound to be attacked by the nucleophile. The electron deficiency of the carbonyl carbon is indicated by the blue area in the electrostatic potential maps. Here, an aldehyde has a greater partial positive charge on its carbonyl carbon than does a ketone because a hydrogen is electron withdrawing compared to an alkyl group, which is an electron donating group. An aldehyde therefore is less stable than a ketone, which makes it more reactive towards the nucleophilic attack. if we look into the relative reactivity, formaldehyde, aldehyde and a ketone, the most reactive in the series is the formaldehyde and the least is the ketone. It might be acetone if I take into consideration that R and R dash are CH3. Steric factor also contributes to the greater reactivity of an aldehyde. The carbonyl carbon of an aldehyde is more accessible to the nucleophile than the carbonyl carbon of a ketone, because the hydrogen atom of the carbonyl carbon of an aldehyde is smaller than the alkyl group attached to the carbonyl carbon of a ketone. Steric factor also becomes an important in tetrahedral transition state because the bond angle are 109.5 degree. Therefore, the alkyl groups are more closer to one another than in the carbonyl compound, in which the bond angles are at 120 degree. Ketones have greater steric crowding in their transition state, so they are less stable transition states and than the aldehydes have. Again, for the same reason, ketones have with small alkyl group bonded to the carbonyl group are more reactive than the ketones that are bonded to the alkyl group. So we can see that acetone is most reactive when compared to the substituted CH3CH3 dimethyl substituted acetones or tetramethyl substituted acetone. Now, how does the reactivity of an alkyl, aldehyde or a ketone towards nucleophile compare with the reactivity of the carbonyl compound with the reactions that we have studied? Aldehydes and ketones are right in the middle. Less reactive than the acyl halide. Acyl halides are highly reactive and acid anhydrides are also reactive, and then comes as the aldehyde ketones, but are more reactive. Aldehydes and ketones are more reactive than the esters, carboxylic acids and the amides, and the least is the carboxylate ion. Now, the carbonyl compound have lone pair of electrons on the atom attached to the carbonyl group that can be shared with the carbonyl carbon by resonance, which makes the carbonyl carbon less electron deficient. And we have seen that the reactivity of this carbonyl compound is related to the basicity of the R group or Y group, whichever, and the basicity of R group, that is R minus or Y minus. The weaker the basicity of Y minus, the more reactive is the carbonyl group, because weak bases are less able to donate electrons by resonance to the carbonyl carbon and are better able to withdraw electrons inductively from the carbonyl carbon. In that way, aldehydes and ketones are not as reactive as carbonyl compounds, in which Y dash or R dash is a weaker base, that is acyl halides and acid anhydrides, but are more reactive than the carbonyl compound, in which Y dash is a relatively stronger base. In the bracket, I will say carboxylic acid, ester and amides. A molecular orbital explanation of why resonance electron donation decreases the reactivity of carbonyl group will help us to understand in a much better way. Now let us see certain characteristic reactions of aldehydes and ketones. Basically, they do undergo reduction where alcohol formation takes place or alkane formation takes place. They do undergo oxidation resulting in the carboxylic acid. They do also undergo nucleophilic addition reactions. Addition reactions can be through Grignard's reagent or by water addition or addition of alcohols to form acetals and ketols, or cyanohydrins through hydrogen cyanide, or through addition of ammonia and ammonia derivatives. Let us see a few of the characteristic reactions of aldehydes and ketones. Aldehydes and ketones basically undergo reduction reactions as well as oxidation reactions. And one more important class of reactions are nucleophilic addition reactions. Reduction reactions. Aldehydes and ketones undergo reduction via catalytic reductions to alcohol using nickel or platinum or palladium as the catalyst. right? So aldehyde will give corresponding primary alcohol, and ketones will give secondary alcohols as the products. The second set of reaction that they do undergo is the Clemmensen reduction, where the carbonyl compound will be reduced in presence of zinc mercury amalgam, zinc mercury in presence of traces of HCl to form corresponding alkanes. So this is Clemmensen reduction reaction. They do also undergo Wolff-Kishner reaction in presence of hydrazine hydrate. The aldehyde or ketone will get reduced to corresponding alkanes. So both Clemmensen reduction and Wolff-Kishner reduction are commonly seen in the are the two common reduction reactions of aldehydes and ketones. Oxidation of aldehydes and ketones also are carried out, converting aldehyde to a carboxylic acid or an aromatic aldehyde or a ketone to corresponding benzoic acids and their derivatives. Also haloform reactions of methyl carbonyls and periodic cleavage of vicinal diols and diketones are also done. Oxidation using number of oxidizing agents such as ammonium, silver ammonium nitrate, or KMNO4 or K2Cr2O7, right, potassium dichromate or potassium permanganate, or even with hydrogen iodide, etc. All of them are all of them are used in the oxidation reaction of corresponding aldehydes or ketones to the corresponding acids. Let's look into the structure of carbonyl group. Carbonyl carbon is sp2 hybridized. Geometry of the carbonyl carbon is trigonal planar. Attack of nucleophile will occur with equal ease from either of the face, that is from the top face or on the bottom face. Again, stereochemistry plays an important role here. It depends upon the steric interaction of R group with the incoming nucleophile group. The carbonyl carbon is a prochiral, that is, the carbonyl carbon is not the center of chirality, but it becomes chiral as the reaction proceeds further. So herein we can see that it is a prochiral carbon because it is bonded to 3 pi bond and 2 R groups. So nucleophile can attack from either of the directions, from the top face or from the bottom face, and resulting in formation of a new product, and that new product is a chiral carbon, provided if R and R dash are not same groups. Therefore, they do end up into enantiomers. Reaction of a nucleophilic reaction of a carbonyl group can be either acid catalyzed or base catalyzed. So in this slide it is acid catalyzed. The proton released by the acid combined with the carbonyl oxygen, that is, we call it as the carbonyl oxygen is getting protonated there, right, and thus attains the electron deficiency of the carbon atom. In this way, positivity of the carbonyl carbon atom is increased and the attack of the nucleophile is enhanced there. Therefore, a nucleophile, which is a base, will come and easily attack the carbonyl carbon. Whereas the second reaction in which there is a base, here the nucleophile, which is a base, is generated from its conjugate acid in presence of a base, and addition takes place as described here. The base will attack the carbonyl carbon and thereby lead to a formation of a oxygen anion, which will further lead to the formation of a addition product. It may be noted that whether the addition is acid catalyzed or base catalyzed, the product obtained is the same. An acid catalyst promotes nucleophilic attack by increasing the nucleophilic character of the carbonyl carbon, while a base does so by increasing the nucleophilicity of the reagent. This is a acid catalyzed addition. The proton released by acid combined with the carbonyl oxygen, and thus the oxygen get protonated there, and the protonated oxygen will drag the electron from the carbonyl carbon, and thereby making carbonyl carbon more electron deficient, and the incoming nucleophile will share its electron towards the electron deficient carbonyl carbon, thereby leading to the formation of a product there. The first step is the fast step, whereas the second step is the slow step and is the rate determining step. So this is acid base catalyzed addition. Here nucleophile is generally generated from its conjugate acid in presence of a base, and addition takes place as described here, the nucleophile will attack the carbonyl carbon and thereby generating a carbon oxygen anion, and further in presence of water molecule the oxygen will get protonated and leading to the formation of a product there, which is a alcohol there. And the first step is the slow step, whereas the second step is the fast step, and the first step is the rate determining step. So this is base catalyzed reaction. Remember that whether if you do it with the acid catalyzed or a base catalyzed, the product obtained is the same, that is you are end up into an alcohol there. Relative reactivity of aldehydes and ketones. For maximum reactivity towards nucleophile, the carbonyl carbon atom should be positive as possible and not sterically hindered by adjacent groups. In that way, the ketone have two alkyl groups on the carbonyl carbon, while aldehydes have only one alkyl group. Each alkyl group, being electron releasing, decreases the positivity of the carbon atom, and on account of its bulk offer steric hindrance to the appropriate reagent. The relative reactivity of aldehydes and ketones. Now, in order to see that the carbonyl carbon attains more electropositive nature such that the incoming nucleophile can share its electron, we need to have necessarily two conditions. First one is the carbonyl carbon should be relatively more positive, and secondly less steric hindered adjacent groups. Whereas in ketones, if we take into account, there are two alkyl groups which are electron donating groups, and thereby decreases the carbonyl carbon electropositivity. Whereas in aldehyde it is only one R group and the other one is the hydrogen, and thereby the electropositivity of the carbonyl carbon is slightly diminished, or slightly more is more it is going to attain more electropositive when compared to carbonyl carbon, ketocarbonyl carbon. Therefore, aldehydes are more reactive compared to ketones. And moreover, the carbonyl group in ketones, being influenced by two bulkier groups, is sterically hindered and is less reactive than in aldehyde, where the carbonyl group is under the influence of only one alkyl group and the other one is the hydrogen. Formaldehyde, having no alkyl group on the carbonyl carbon, is more reactive than all other aldehydes, which again are more reactive than the ketones. Therefore, it follows the order like formaldehyde and then all other aldehydes, and then last is the ketones, all because of the increase in the positive character of the carbonyl carbon. The aldehydes are more reactive compared to the ketones, where the positivity of the carbonyl carbon decreases because of the two electron donating groups, and the steric effect also comes into picture here. One more factor which is said is electronic reasons, that is greater polarization of aldehyde carbonyl carbon make them more reactive. Aldehyde is more electrophilic and more reactive than the ketones. If we look it into here, the primary carbocation is less stable, more reactive when compared to secondary carbocation, which is more stable when compared to the primary, therefore is less reactive. So this also can be accounted as one of the factor. One more factor would be that if we compare between the aliphatic aldehyde and aromatic aldehyde, the electron donating resonance effect of the aromatic ring makes the carbonyl group less electrophilic than the carbonyl group of an aliphatic aldehyde. Therefore, aliphatic aldehydes are much more reactive when compared to aromatic aldehydes. One more important factor is the carbocation intermediate, which is going to form here. The positive character of a carbon makes this an excellent site for attack by Lewis base, that is nucleophile. Nucleophile attacks the electrophilic carbon from a direction of almost 45 degree to the plane of carbonyl group. At the same time, rehybridization of the carbonyl carbon from an sp2 to sp3 will occur, which is also very much dominatingly seen in the aldehydes compared to the ketones, which make them more reactive. One more case that we see is the addition product is the more stable. The reaction stops here. This happens most often when the nucleophile atom is carbon, oxygen or sulfur. In the second case, where addition elimination will happen, the addition product is unstable with respect to loss of a water molecule. This is observed most often when the nucleophile atom is a nitrogen or a phosphorus. The third is the loss of leaving group. This process is observed when leaving group is a highly potential leaving group or a more like halide group. In this case, we have nucleophilic acyl substitution happening, which is very much prominently seen in nucleophilic acyl substitution is the acyl chlorides. Reaction of hydrogen cyanide. Hydrogen cyanide adds to aldehyde and ketone to form cyanohydrin. This reaction forms a product with one or more carbon atom than the reactant. In the first step of the reaction, which is a slow step, the cyanide ion, that is Cn-, attack the carbonyl carbon. Here cyanide ion is the nucleophile and will attack the carbonyl carbon, which is electrophilic in nature, resulting in a formation of a alkoxide ion, which then accepts a proton from an undissociated molecule of the hydrogen cyanide. Because hydrogen cyanide is a toxic gas, the best way to carry out this reaction is to generate hydrogen cyanide during the reaction by adding HCl to a mixture of aldehyde and ketone with excess of sodium cyanide. Excess sodium cyanide is used in order to make sure that some cyanide ion is available to act as a nucleophile. The sodium cyanide, that is the cyanide ion, the nucleophilic in nature, will share its electron to the carbonyl carbon cyclohexanone carbon, resulting in the formation of a cyclohexone cyanohydrin. Compared with the other carbon nucleophile, cyanide ion is relatively weak base, that is its pK value is around 9.14 when compared to acetylene or something where pK value is around 25, and pK value of a ethane is 50, which means that the cyano group is most easily eliminated of the carbon nucleophile from the addition product. Cyanohydrin, however, are stable because of the OH group. OH group will not eliminate the cyano group. The transition state for the elimination reaction would be relatively unstable, since the oxygen atom would bear a partial positive charge. If the OH group loses its proton, however, the cyano group will be eliminated because the oxygen atom would have a partial negative charge instead of a partial positive charge in the transition state of the elimination reaction. Therefore, in basic solution, a cyanohydrin is converted back to the carbonyl group, or it can also be treated with lithium aluminum hydride in THF to form a corresponding amines there. And also in presence of acid, catalytic amount of acid, it can be easily hydrolyzed to carboxylic acids. Reaction with Grignard's reagent. Addition of a Grignard reagent to a carbonyl compound is a versatile reaction that leads to the formation of a new CC bond. The reaction can produce compound with a variety of structure because both the structure of carbonyl compound and the structure of Grignard's reagent can be varied. Grignard reagent can be prepared by adding a alkyl halide to a magnesium, shaving in diethyl ether. We also saw that the Grignard reagent reacts as if it was a carbon anion, that is CH3CH2Br in presence of Mg and ethoxide ion will form ethanol, will form CH3CH2MgBr. This CH3CH2MgBr reacts as if it is CH3CH2 minus and Mg plus Br. Attack of the Grignard's reagent on a carbonyl carbon forms an alkoxide ion that is complexed with the magnesium ion. Addition of water or dilute acid breaks up the complex. When a Grignard's reagent reacts with a formaldehyde, the addition product is a primary alcohol. But when a Grignard's reagent reacts with an aldehyde other than the formaldehyde, the addition product is a secondary alcohol. For example, when it reacts with a propanol, propyl magnesium bromide is the reagent, Grignard's reagent here reacting, resulting in a formation of a 3-hexanol, which is a secondary alcohol. When a Grignard's reagent reacts with a ketone, the addition product is a tertiary alcohol. For example, 2-pentanone reacting with ethyl magnesium bromide will result in a formation of 3-methyl-3-hexanol. A Grignard's reagent can also react with carbon dioxide. The product of the reaction is a carboxylic acid with one more carbon than the Grignard's reagent. Addition of hydride ion to an aldehyde or a ketone forms an alkoxide. Subsequent protonation by an acid produces an alcohol. Overall, the reaction involves addition of H2 to a carbonyl group, which is nothing but a reduction. Aldehydes and ketones are generally reduced by using sodium borohydride as the source of hydride ion. Aldehydes are reduced to primary alcohols and ketones are reduced to secondary alcohols. Aldehydes and ketones undergo a number of reactions due to acidic nature of alpha hydrogens. The acidity of alpha hydrogen atom of the carbonyl compound is due to the strong electron withdrawing effect of the carbonyl group and resonance stabilization of the conjugate base. Herein we come across one of the important reaction, which is known as aldol reaction. The name itself says aldol. Aldol, it comprises of two functional groups, aldehyde and alcohol. In the product we do have both functionality, that is aldehyde and alcohol. That's why the name comes aldol. The aldol or the ketol readily loses water to give alpha beta unsaturated carbonyl compound, which are aldol condensation products, and reaction is called aldol condensation. Let us see the mechanism of aldol reaction. In aldol reaction, the necessary condition is that there has to be alpha hydrogen, and the carbon adjacent to the carbonyl carbon is the alpha carbon. Now, in the first step, an acid-base reaction. So, hydroxide ion, which acts as a base, will remove the acidic hydrogen to give a reactive enolate ion, that is CH2 minus. CH2 minus C double bond OH. Now, this enolate ion, the nucleophilic enolate ion, will attack the aldehyde at the electrophilic carbonyl carbon, will attack one more blah 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 blah. Now, let us see the aldol reaction mechanism. The necessary condition for any aldehyde or a ketone to undergo aldol reaction is that it should have a alpha hydrogen. Alpha hydrogen is that where the carbon adjacent to the carbonyl group is the alpha carbon, and that carbon should bear the hydrogen. Therefore, it becomes alpha hydrogen. So, in the first step, it's an acid-base reaction. The hydroxide ion functions as a base and removes the acidic alpha hydrogen, resulting in formation of a enolate ion. The enolate ion, which is nucleophilic in nature, will attack one more molecule of the aldehyde or a ketone. Necessarily, it may or may not be bearing a alpha hydrogen. In the first step, what is required? The aldehyde or a ketone should have a alpha hydrogen. In second step, the aldehyde or the ketone may or may not have the alpha hydrogen. Now, the nucleophilic enolate ion will attack the aldehyde or the ketone at the electrophilic carbon in a nucleophilic addition type process, resulting in a alkoxide ion. The formed intermediate alkoxide ion further will get deprotonated. And next step is also an acid-base reaction in which the alkoxide ion will deprotonates a water molecule, creating hydroxide ion, and the beta hydroxy aldehyde or the aldol product is obtained. Therefore, we can see that at beta position is the hydroxy group to the aldehyde functionality. Therefore, it is aldol, aldehyde and a alcohol. Now, subsequently, there will be loss of water molecule in the next step, that is in the fourth step, leading to the formation of alpha beta unsaturated aldehyde. Cross-aldol. Cross-aldol can be between two aldehydes when aldol condensation is carried out between two different aldehydes or ketones is called cross-aldol condensation. If both of them contain alpha hydrogen atom, it gives to a mixture of four products. In this case, we have a acetaldehyde, that is CH3CHO, and we have CH3CH2CHO. So, in presence of it gives four products, that is butane 2-enol, 2-methyl-pentenol, 2-methyl-butenol and pent-2-enol. So, acetaldehyde and benzaldehyde, acetone and benzaldehyde propanol. Cross-aldol reaction can happen between two aldehydes or ketones of different kinds. That means there are two different aldehydes and ketones. In such cases, we do end up into mixtures of products. If there are two different aldehydes or two different ketones, then we end up into four products. For example, here in this reaction, A and B, they are different aldehydes. So, one is CH3CHO acetaldehyde, the other one is ethaldehyde, that is CH3CH2SCHO, which reacts in presence of base and result in formation of four products, that is but2-enol, 2-methyl-pentanol, 2-methyl-butanol and pent-enol, 2-enol. So, there are four products that are obtained here. Aldol reactions has a wide application in synthetic organic chemistry. The formed aldol product, that is aldol adduct, can be reduced, resulting in formation of a diol there, 1,3-diol there. Also further we can use PCC and oxidize it to a corresponding keto group. We can do acid-base titration, acid or in presence of base, it can form alpha beta unsaturated aldehyde or a keto compound and so on. So, it has a huge number of applications in the synthetic organic. Aldol reaction which takes place between an aldehyde and a ketone, necessarily one of the either aldehyde or the ketone should bear a alpha hydrogen. One bears a alpha hydrogen, which will form a enolate ion and which will attack the second aldehyde or a ketone which is lacking the alpha hydrogen. Further resulting in formation of a alpha beta unsaturated ketocarbonyl is also called as Claisen-Schmidt condensation. Is also called as Claisen-Schmidt condensation reaction. The next reaction is Cannizzaro reaction. Aldehyde which lack alpha hydrogen atom undergoes self-oxidation reaction, which is a disproportionate reaction on heating with a concentrated alkali. In this reaction, one molecule of an aldehyde is reduced to alcohol, while the another is oxidized to carboxylic acid. It is an example of a disproportionate reaction leading to the formation of a carboxylic acid and a alcohol. Mechanism of Cannizzaro reaction. In the first step, the hydroxide ion, which is nucleophilic in nature, will attack the carbonyl carbon, which is electrophilic in nature, to form a hydroxy alkoxide ion. The formed ion acts as a anion 1 acts as a hydride ion donor to the second molecule of aldehyde. In the final step, in the final step of the reaction, the acid and the alkoxide ion transfer the H plus ion to acquire stability, resulting in formation of a ion, methoxide ion or any alkoxide ion and alcohol. Cannizzaro reaction is used when all other oxidation and reductions of aldehydes and ketones fails. Perkin reaction, which is also called as Perkin condensation. When aromatic aldehyde is heated with an anhydride of an aliphatic acid in presence of sodium salts of same acid as a catalyst, alpha beta unsaturated acid is formed there. Mechanism of Perkin reaction. In the first step, alpha hydrogen of acetic anhydride is abstracted by the sodium acetate anion, forming a carbon anion. The formed carbon ion in the will result into formation of or will add to the carbonyl carbon of aromatic aldehyde to form a intermediate 2. This intermediate 2 will further I repeat here, carbon ion formed adds to the carbonyl of an aromatic aldehyde to form intermediate 2. The intermediate 2, now protonation of intermediate 2 will happen at the anionic oxygen, producing a hydroxy acid anhydride, which is intermediate 3. Now, the internal proton transfer leads to the elimination of water molecule to form alpha beta unsaturated mixed anhydride. Conventional condensation. Benzaldehyde undergo condensation in presence of organic base with the active methylene group such as ethyl acetoacetate or ethyl cyanoacetate or diethyl malonate to form alpha beta unsaturated acid. Mechanism of conventional condensation. In the first step, proton abstraction by base generates a carbon ion. Nucleophile addition of carbon ion to the carbonyl carbon will take place in the second step. Thereby, elimination of water will happen in third step, and further hydrolysis and decarboxylation happens in the fourth step, resulting in formation of alpha beta unsaturated acid. Aldehyde or ketone reacts with the alpha halogenated ester in presence of zinc, giving rise to beta hydroxy ester, which is a Reformatsky reaction. Here formed beta hydroxy ester can undergo dehydration, leading to formation of alpha beta unsaturated ester. Mechanism of Reformatsky reaction. Reaction begins when there is oxidative addition of zinc metal to the carbon halogen bond of alpha halo ester. The two of the resulting compound coordinate to each other, forming a dimer, which then undergoes a rearrangement to give two molecules of oxygen zinc enolates. The oxygen of the aldehyde or a ketone reagent then coordinates to the zinc, and another rearrangement ensures which joins the two reagent with a carbon-carbon bond. Further, an acid workup then cleaves the zinc oxygen bond to give final beta hydroxy ester product and a zinc 2 salt. Addition of ammonia or ammonia derivatives or amine will lead to the formation of imine functionality when reacted with aldehyde or a ketone. All of the imine reaction, regardless of what the R group or G group, go by the same mechanism. The mechanism of enamine formation. In acidic media, the carbonyl oxygen gets protonated. In an ammonium derivative, the nitrogen atom has a lone pair of electrons which attack the positively charged carbonyl carbon and results in positive charge on the nitrogen atom. Further, in the next step, the internal proton shift will result in results and further elimination of internal proton shift will happen, resulting in formation of a C carbon-carbon double bond. Thereby we end up into a carbon-nitrogen bond in the beginning, formation of carbon-nitrogen, and next carbon-carbon double bond. So a imine carbon is formed there. In basic media, nucleophile will attack the carbonyl carbon in the first step and result in the formation of a positive charge on the nitrogen atom and the negative charge on the oxygen atom. Next step, proton transfer will happen, resulting in the neutralization of the positive charge on the nitrogen as well as on the oxygen. In the next step, protonation of OH will happen, that is the OH lone pair of electrons on the oxygen will drag the proton from the base and thereby it will form a positive charge. Now water molecule is formed there, which is a living group. So elimination of water molecule will happen in the next step. Water is a good living group there now. And then in the next step, thereby positive charge on the carbon nitrogen is formed there. Nitrogen is formed bearing the positive charge. In the next step, the base will abstract down from the nitrogen and thereby stabilize the positive charge on the nitrogen, resulting in formation of C double bond N. A simple primary amine will react with the carbonyl compound, forming imine as the product. Aldehydes and ketones react in the same way. It gives simple imines. The equilibrium is unfavorable and the product are much less than the stable, are much less stable than the reactants. Some of the common amines that typically undergo a reaction with aldehydes or ketone to form enamines are diethylamine, which is a secondary amine, piperidine, secondary amine, pyrrolidine, secondary amine, morpholine, secondary amine. Number of amines will react with the aldehyde or a ketone to form corresponding imine or oximes. For example, primary amine will form imine, hydroxylamine will form oxime, hydrazine will form hydrazone, semicarbazide will form semicarbazone. Mannich reaction. Aryl ketone containing alpha hydrogen atom will react with the formaldehyde and ammonia or any primary or secondary amine to form beta amino ketones, which are called Mannich base. Mechanism of Mannich reaction. The reaction between formaldehyde and amine leads to the formation of the iminium ion. The compound containing the carbonyl group, which is generally a ketone, undergo tautomerization to give its enol form. This enol form of the compound with the carbonyl functional group now proceeds to execute an attack on the iminium ion. This attack finally yields the required beta amino carbonyl compound or the Mannich base. Mannich base has a number of applications in synthetic organic chemistry. These reactions are often used in the preparation of alkyl amines, which are employed in the production of pesticides and rodenticides, etc. Many antibiotics are Mannich bases. For example, Mannich base of tetracycline is a rolutetracycline, a broad spectrum antibiotic that is widely used in medicines. Many catalysts and polymers are produced with the help of this reaction. The Mannich reaction is used in synthesis of many pharmaceutical drugs as well as non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. The reaction is also used in the production of many soaps and detergents. Therefore, it has got a lot of applications in synthetic organic chemistry. In this lecture, we covered what are aldehydes and ketones. They are the carbonyl class 2 compounds. We compared the reactivity of aldehydes and ketones with that of the carbonyl class 1 compounds. Also, internally we saw the reactivity of aldehydes and ketones also. We gave the physical and chemical property of aldehyde ketones, and also we saw the synthesis of aldehyde ketones and various reactions of aldehydes and ketones, including reduction, oxidation and nucleophilic addition reactions. With this, I would like to end this lecture. Thank you.